This episode is sponsored by Circle K. Get the most savings on every gallon when you fuel with the Circle K Fleet Card. Learn more at CircleKFleetCards.com.
Welcome to Faces of Fleet, an interview series from Work Truck, where we take a more personal look at the many interesting people in Fleet and some of the experiences that helped shape them into who they are today. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss an episode. I'm Fletcher, Executive Editor of Work Truck, and today I'm chatting with Lance Gillies, CEO and founder of EarthCruiser Overland Vehicles. Lance founded EarthCruiser in 2009 in Australia and have forged the company in Bend, Oregon in 2013 with Michelle Bolts. He has a passion for overlanding and the vehicles that make it happen. Through the years I've been covering EarthCruiser, one of my favorite quotes from this Australian-born force of nature is, "I like finding problems to solve." So let's get started and find out more from Lance about his passion for solving problems, overlanding, and his new core lineup. Welcome, Lance.
G'day, thanks for having us. This is fabulous.
I'm so excited.
This is great. Look, your support is just phenomenal. So thank you. It really matters to little companies like us. The stuff that you do is huge. So from all of us, thank you.
Thank you. So how on earth did you get into overlanding in the first place?
Oh, we just love to travel. We always have. I mean, very story short, we, as kids, we just traveled everywhere. My dad, he traveled a lot for work. So we just, as kids, we just got chucked in the back of the car and it doesn't really matter, you're going to, and that's all there is to it. And so that was great. So always wanting to know what's on the other side of the road or on the other side of the hill. I don't know anything else.
I love it. What is one of your most memorable moments from overlanding?
It's always the next one. Honestly, it really is. I mean, it is so true, right? We never remember the years. We only remember the moments. And it's funny that some of the stories we like to tell, how you got stuck and you were chased by crocodiles and all this stuff. And, that's for sure. That's all part of it. But sometimes for me, it's just those moments when you just are in somewhere that you've heard about, read about, and you just take a moment, take a breath and go, I'm here.
I don't know if many people's stories include being chased by crocodiles. So that sounds pretty interesting right there.
I've been chased by crocodiles.
So where did the vision and idea for EarthCruiser actually come from?
It was exactly that. I mean, Michelle and I, we met in a Malaysian jungle. We're those people that really just like to do stuff like that, and so, we both have traveling, backgrounds in different ways, but knowing, traveling by plane's great, traveling by boat's great, all that. But when you travel by vehicle, you can set the pace differently. You know what I mean? And so we really enjoy that style of travel. And that doesn't mean, be the most miserable off-road. That's not what that means. It means that we have more control over where we want to go within reason and how long we want to stay there. So a big reason, a big limiting factor of how long you want to stay there or can stay there is some of the basics of life, food and water and shelter. And so where EarthCruiser come from in a nutshell, we had plenty of times in Nissan Patrols and Land Cruisers, all that, but they have limiting factor of how much they can actually carry, which is the exact equivalent how long you can stay in that particular place without having to forage and carry on. So that's where EarthCruiser came from. We were looking for a platform that could essentially carry more water, fuel, food, comfort that still had the off-road ability. And my background in the off-roading stuff and, fooling around with fire trucks, fooling around with doing different, in the transport industry led us straight to the light cab over four-wheel drive truck. It made perfect sense. So that's where EarthCruiser came from. It was just very simply, we had a problem, we're looking for a solution, and that we couldn't buy one, so we made one. And that it was just that simple, which is not an unusual story, really, right? I mean, how often, particularly in the transport industry, a customer has a problem. I need to move this from here to there, and there's not a piece of equipment available. So what does the transport industry do? It figures it out. I mean, nothing, no change there, is there really?
No, but I think your end result ended up being pretty darn awesome.
Oh, thank you. We like it. Yeah.
And so, how did you end up from Australia over here in Bend, Oregon?
Dead simple is my wife, Michelle's American, and it's really important that she spent some time with her family, spent a long time in Australia. And so it was just really super important that Michelle spent some time with her family.
So, core.
Mhm.
Where does core come into the EarthCruiser equation? Can you tell us a little bit more about how that idea was born?
Sure. When Fuso left the US market and there was no more four-wheel drive truck for us to build our recreational vehicles on, it's been something we want to do for a long time, is the whether it be for the mining sector, whether it be again for people to build their own DIY dream machines on, for us to be able to build a ground up four-wheel drive cab over truck was just an opportunity we couldn't miss. And that is where that's what core is. So having the opportunity to put all of our collective experience into building a purpose-built four-wheel drive cab over truck, we just had to do it. So that's where core came from. It wasn't that we said, we can do it better than anybody else. It was that when Fuso left the US market, we had no four-wheel drive truck. We had a simple choice. We could, I guess we don't do that anymore, or we see this as opportunity to put our collective experience into building something. And that's exactly what we did. And so now core is definitely taking on a life of its own as a four-wheel drive truck. We're now using the Isuzu, and also, as you know, also sold under the Chevy badge. So now we have a legitimate four-wheel drive truck that's made in Bend, Oregon. And of course, we use it for our recreational customers, but now a life of its own for commercial applications. So for us, that's really exciting. So we, rather than having to put bigger wheels on the Fuso, now our core truck comes standard with big wheels. It's federally tested. It's a road legal. It's just a little out. You've driven it. You can't tell me it's not a ton of fun.
Oh, it was a blast. I had a chance to drive that truck, and it was incredibly capable. Went some places I never thought I would see a Suzu cab over going. So that was amazing.
Isn't it great? And so yeah, so that's really where it came from, is that we had a need for ourselves, but we also realized there's a lot of people out there that have something that needs to get from one side of the hill to the other, and there really wasn't too much out there that could do it, with that footprint. And so yeah, that's where core came from. Purely a collective of experience and knowing that there's a need for this type of application.
You pride yourself on giving back to your communities. Can you share a little bit more about how you do that?
That's just not me. I mean, that's our entire organization. I mean, all of us, I think, feel the same way here. I mean, it takes a village, right? As much as we practically can, we rather give a kid a job in this town rather than somewhere else. So as much as we practically can, we try to buy as many local products as we absolutely can, using small manufacturers like us as much as we can. We have a wonderful relationship with a local university. You'll always have, when you come to visit, you always see, university interns here all the time, because it really matters. And it's definitely not a one-way street. They are super smart people doing really, really fabulous things. Learn from them every day. You know what I mean? It's absolutely a two-way street. And before this COVID and all that other nonsense, it was wonderful seeing the high school students come through all of the time. It used to be High School Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we would have groups of high school students. Same thing, those young kids are trying to figure out what they're going to do with their lives, and some of them are manufacturing, whatever that means. If it's engineering, if it's fabrication. Some of them, that's a really good career path for them. But if they don't get to walk inside a real workshop that actually makes stuff and talk to people who are actually making it, how will they ever know if that's a good career for them? So for us, having the opportunity to talk to these kids, and that they spend some time with their engineers, they spend some time with the folks on the floor, it really gives them just a glimpse to go, this is a terrible idea. Or they go, yeah, I can see myself doing this. You know what I mean? And so it's not just us. And I know lots of small companies like us do it, and it really does make a difference. You know, it's really gratifying. Well, actually for our customers too. Our vehicles are unique. That's great. People see them and go, that's pretty terrific. And a number of times, feedback from our customers said, "Oh, listen, we were at so and so place somewhere, and this young person come up and go, oh yeah, I interned at EarthCruiser. These guys are great." For what that does to our customer, they go, yeah, I spent my money with an organization that actually cares. There's a lot of value to that. It's never going to show up on your balance sheet, but I think we have collectively a responsibility to do what we can. I really do.
That's absolutely incredible. Since you've started working more with fleets beyond just individuals looking to DIY, are there any lessons that you've learned on that experience?
Uh, my background is more in fleet anyway. That's my happy place actually. I really do get that very much. The overland traveling, I guess that's tribal for me, if you will. But as far as understanding that the the, the importance of that piece of equipment to that operator, I understand that because I know what it's like to be. I know what it's like to be that truck driver. I know what it's like to be that tow truck driver. I know what it's like to do those late night recoveries because I've done them. And yeah, no, that's absolutely my happy place. So if you, there is not a single thing that we did today that didn't arrive on the back of a truck. If you put fuel in your car, food on the table, built a house, it arrived somehow or another on the back of a truck. And that's all there is to it. It didn't matter if it's a big truck or a little truck, doesn't matter. It was on the back of a truck. And the people who, in my humble opinion, who operate those vehicles, they take a lot of pride in what they do. And I absolutely recognize that. So yeah, no, I'm there. 100%.
That's awesome. And kind of tying this all back up to the beginning again, how does your passion for finding problems to solve drive what you do every day?
Because I'm just never satisfied. I don't know. There's something, I don't know. I need to have to go talk to somebody. But, there's always a way, you know what I mean? There's just always is. There's always one more thing you can do. It's never that's it, no way. There's always one, the classic, right? When Fuso left the US market, our people never blinked. They go, okay, I guess we're making our own now. That was it. That's all there is to it. No, we didn't go looking for the problem, but we absolutely went looking for the solution, and it's turned out phenomenally fantastic.
I love it. Lance, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today and share a little bit about your past experiences.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
For anyone interested in learning more about EarthCruiser and Core, or if you want to watch more episodes of Faces of Fleet or Truck Chat, check out the links below. As always, thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button and comment below to let me know who I should be chatting with next. And be on the lookout for more episodes of Truck Chat coming soon, where I'll continue to focus on the people and the issues that matter most to work truck fleets. Thanks.